In this video, I'll teach you one of the most powerful conversational tactics you can use to never ever run out of things to say. Now, this works even if you're a very analytical and logical guy. As a matter of fact, it works even better. And look, I won't give you the generic just ask open-ended questions or just talk about her feelings or dreams advice. Oh no, this is something much more powerful. And once you learn this and actually apply it, you will never ever have to worry about that embarrassing moment where you want something to say, but the words just aren't coming out. So first, let me demonstrate how this actually looks like in practice in high pressure situation where I just approach the girl on the street cold and I have just a few seconds to keep her attention and she's barely saying anything. I'll play the clip now and then I'll teach you how you can do this as well.
You came to Barcelona with white clothes and it looks like you are on a mission, on a Primark mission today. It even broke. The bag broke. You bought so much stuff that it broke.
Yes.
It was too much for the bag.
Yes.
You're trying to save on the bags. Instead of buying two, you buy one.
Yep.
You're trying to save the world. It's good. It's good. It's a good. It's definitely a good. Feeling and thinking. Trying to save the world and animals and human beings as well, I guess. You're very ecological in that sense, and quite serious as well. You're not giving much in terms of your facial expressions. It seems like you have like the face, the staring face, the analytical face. You're from Eastern Europe, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell Eastern European when I see one.
Where from the United States are you from?
So that was me talking for more than 1 minute with barely any input from the girl. And by the way, if you want to see the full interaction, I'll link it below. So now let me teach you step by step how to do this. So step one is you actually got to do something very simple. Be present. Before we even talk about tactics or what to actually say, we need to address the real issue. And the number one reason why guys run out of things to say isn't because they don't have enough material, but because they're not present. You're physically standing in front of the girl, but mentally you're just somewhere else. You're thinking about what to say next, how she's judging you, whether people are watching, how this interaction is going to end. And when your attention is split like that, of course your mind goes blank because you're not really listening to what she's saying. And if we define what being present actually means, it's simply not thinking about the future. But the problem is, how do you actually force your brain to just focus on what's in front of you? For that, we go to step number 2. And step number 2 is simply observe what's in front of you and say it out loud. In other words, you literally say what you see without thinking. In this case, I noticed the girl is wearing white clothes. So I say, you're wearing all white. And I know some of you are already thinking, well, that's nothing special. Exactly. It's not supposed to be special. However, this does two very powerful things. First of all, it gives you a trigger. So whatever you see becomes a material for what you're going to say next. And we'll cover this in step 3. And second, it anchors your attention. So your brain has now one single task: observe and describe. And that automatically reduces this future-based anxiety because you're no longer trying to predict an outcome. You're simply reporting what's there. So the rule is this: see it, then say it. So you see white clothes, you say white clothes. You notice a big ring, you mention a big ring. You realize she's tall, but she's not wearing heels. Well, you say that. And here's the crazy part. You can talk for minutes just doing this. Okay, so you're wearing all white. That's bold. Big ring too. You're tall, but no heels. Very chill vibe. Gym bag. You can literally keep going. Now, of course, if you just keep saying this endlessly, you'll start to sound like a commentator. So we got to go to step 3. And this is where things actually become interesting. Honestly, I barely see guys even doing step 2 properly, but step 3, almost no one does this. And this is where the rubber really hits the road, as they say. So here's what you do. After you observe something, you assign meaning to it. So for example, in this video that I showed you, I noticed her bag was broken. So I said, looks like your bag is broke. That's an observation. And then I added meaning. So I said, okay, so you're clearly trying to save money on bags. You're one of those ecological girls, Miss Greenpeace, out there saving planet one broken bag at a time. Now, is that true? Probably not. It was just a broken bag, but it doesn't matter. Now the conversation has an interesting direction, and this is where flirting lives. You're taking basic observations and kind of stretching them into playful interpretations. And now step 4 is where you actually take this and talk endlessly like I did. But before we go into step 4, I need to address something very important, because all of this that I mentioned before can completely fail apart if you execute it wrong. And that's your speed. A lot of guys simply speak way too fast, and you don't want to do that. You want to speak slow, not just slightly slower, actually slow. First reason is practical. If you speak slower, you automatically buy yourself a bit more time, which means that your brain has more time to notice things and come up with assigned meanings. Second, speaking slower, of course, signals confidence. And third, it gives the girl space to enter the conversation. Now, yes, because of your anxiety, you'll probably default to speaking very fast in the beginning, and that's totally normal. Don't let that deter you, but you have to consciously slow yourself down. And the rule of thumb I always give my students is speak the way you normally speak and then cut that speed in half, because most likely you're already speaking way too fast. And then finally, step 4 is just repeating the loop, but with variations. So you either zoom in or you zoom out. Now, what do I mean by that? So at first you're observing what's obvious, her white clothes, the rings, her hair, whatever stands out. But at some point you might feel like, okay, well, I kind of exhausted this topic. And that's when you shift perspective. So you can zoom in. Instead of just saying, oh, you're wearing white clothes, you can go more specific. It looks like your dress has these tiny little dots. That material looks super light. Those shoes have a really interesting shape. So you take one detail and kind of magnify with a glass, like magnifying glass, and then you assign meaning to it. Or you can zoom out. So instead of focusing on her, you can focus on the environment around you. So we're standing on this busy street and it's very loud, and the weather today is worse than yesterday. It's way too hot in Barcelona right now. It looks like we're gonna have to form a survival team to deal with this heat. And that's literally what I did in this clip. I just kept noticing things, zooming in, zooming out, and then assigning meaning. And that's how you can keep the conversation and the flow going endlessly. And I promise you, if you practice this properly, you can talk for a very, very, very long time, hours if you want to. Because if you're truly present, you have endless material. There's always something to notice. And if you want to see the full original conversation and how it turned out, I'll leave the video here so you can go watch it and see this in action.